Welcome to the Venture Xperience podcast, featuring interviews with up-and-coming entrepreneurs and business leaders. Join host Brian Weatherford as we peel behind the curtain into the motivations, tools, and strategies used by successful business leaders.
Welcome to the Venture Xperience podcast. My name is Brian Weatherford. I'll be your host today. Today's a special day here on the show. We always like to feature members here at Venture X, but today we're going to crank it up a notch with so much more than a member. He is an early adopter of the whole Venture X experience. His name is Nadim Ahmed, my guest. Nadim, welcome to the show, buddy. Well, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you. And thanks for the fist pump. I'm not into shaking hands with the COVID and all.
I totally understand that. That's why we do it. So thank you much for coming in today. You've got a great story. I was honored. I feel like I already know you looking at the notes and whatnot.
Yeah.
But I want to start just a little bit before where we are now. What was your professional career? What were you doing prior to hopping on board?
Well, I mean, not to get too much into my life, but I guess, I started off doing electrical engineering. I took life pretty seriously, and, it's like I thought you had to just to succeed and all that, but you really don't. But anyway, so I did electrical engineering, was a good student, blah, 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 and then went to pharmaceutical, worked there, and after that did my MBA, and and then I worked in corporate world for a while.
A little bit of everything. Okay,
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. Is yours the story, since I've talked to a lot of people like this, is yours the story you're really good at what you did, really successful, but always in the back of mind you're thinking, I want to do my own thing?
Yeah, it's like I've done stuff like skydiving or stuff like that. It's just like trying to jump with a rope, it's I don't know. I mean, it's with the safety net, you're not going to do as well, right?
Sure.
I mean, it's like I didn't always feel like I was giving it my all, right, in corporate world, because it's like, I don't care about the 3% raise, or I'm just like, I'm not gonna work hard for that.
Right.
I mean, I want to create some cool things, products. I mean, that's why I became an engineer. I'm not here to impress my boss. Nothing against corporate world, but I'm not here to just write a nice PowerPoint or Excel. I want to create stuff and have some meaningful.
Well, create stuff and leave something behind.
Exactly.
Make a footprint. Make a difference.
Yeah. And baby boomers may say that as like a millennial thing. I'm a millennial, so I don't know if that's my millennial thing, or it's just I feel like I took life too seriously to just get a paycheck.
Well, I've been described as the world's oldest millennial, so I can relate.
Yeah, I can relate.
So when it's time to go looking around, I mean, you went the franchise route. Was that your initial thought? And if so, did you pursue other things, or did you just from day one said, I'm going this direction? You don't strike me as that type. Yeah, I bet you did a little research.
Oh, yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, so my background after my MBA was I did product management. I took products to market. So, with execs, you go and you pitch businesses and the pricing and competitors and what is out there. And my goal was always to not create a Me Too product. It was always to create something better, or why do it? Let the ones who are better at it do it, right? And I've always been very intrigued by the way work makes you feel, and we all worry about our homes and like if it has a granite countertop or things like that, but really we need to be more functional, more alive, I guess, per se, and in the work environment, right? And that's where we spend most of our time. So I really was into, I sat in cubicles and things like that, and we didn't care if it was just gray walls or whatever was on there. But yeah, so it was just something I felt like there was a need there. So what I started off back when I was working as a part-time, I used to sell cubicles.
Okay.
Bought them from Taiwan. People would come. I mean, I had a partner because I had a full-time job too. So we would buy it from Taiwan and sell it here. We would customize it. So the unique thing about us is you tell us your company colors, what looks and feels you're going for. We could do wood panels. I mean, it wasn't anything so out of the box, but it was still customized service.
Sure.
You gave us how many employees you want and stuff like that. We would CAD draw it, and we would send an installer and install it for you. It was a good business. I learned with working with partners, everyone has unique. I'm about growing stuff, right? Putting money back into the company,
right.
And I don't really care for like nice things and stuff like that. And so we had different views on that. So yeah, I just sold my part on that. But so that was a kind of my first taste to that. I looked at different businesses. I experimented with a lot of them. with co-working, I wanted to do co-working, but kind of to my philosophy of do something better than what's out there, not a me too. If I did a mom and pop co-working, I didn't know how I could be better than the WeWorks or the others who can, where it's a membership, you could go to any location, you have those network and things like that. I couldn't find a way to build something and compete with them and be better than them. The last thing I want a customer to walk into my place and say, yeah, I mean, you guys have this, but I like that place better because of these things that you don't have.
Gotcha.
I want to be equal, at least equal, but definitely better too.
Well, how did you discover Venture X? Because you were number 2?
I was the first one to sign a franchise.
Yeah.
One of the first one. So I was always looking at businesses, and one United Franchise Group, the parent company, had Trans World. So I was looking into Trans World. That's basically a business of buying and selling businesses. You're a broker for that. So I was looking into that. And one day I was on the website, saw some Trans World stuff. The next day, they just uploaded Venture X stuff there. And I was like, oh, wow. So I read into it, and with my background with cubicles and stuff, I was like, wow, this is really cool. And I had not thought about it for a while because of the whole, I didn't want to go do a mom and pop co-working. So like literally the first day that they got on the website, I called them. I was like, hey, I want to find out more about Venture X. The person who picked up the phone didn't even know what Venture, like she didn't even know that the Venture X was a thing with their company because it was so new. So yeah, that was back in July 2016. And then I signed a franchise. I was one of the first ones to sign a franchise, August 2016. But I was not the first one to open. I was the third one.
Okay.
Toronto and San Antonio opened before me. They owned their, I did a lease, you know.
They own the dirt?
They own the dirt.
Gotcha.
And also I had to go through the SBA. SBA is for those who aren't aware, just loans for small businesses, right? They didn't approve co-working at that point.
Okay.
So there was a lot of back and forth. They finally approved it in December of 2017. January 1st, I got approval from them. I must have been the first one to get approval on co-working. Right?
Goodness.
And then I started construction right then, January 1st, 2018.
Well, let me ask you this. Even before you got the loan approval, were you already out doing research on where you wanted to go?
Oh, yeah. Also with any of these things, you have to have passion. You have to be a little crazy, a little more than the average to do, like an accountant. I would drive myself crazy trying to do what an accountant does or what a doctor does.
Right.
But they're built that way, and they hopefully enjoy what they do. In the same sense, I enjoy looking at these environments where people are working and working together. So yeah, I know all of the ones around Dallas, and I know all the competitors. Even friends with them.
So you're in the Galleria area here in Dallas,
right next to the Galleria.
Did you look at other areas too, or did you just immediately say, yeah, this is where I need to be?
No, I looked everywhere. That time, UFG didn't necessarily have a partnership with commercial real estate brokerage firms and stuff, so I had to do I literally drove around and start calling people. A lot of the stuff.
But you're wired like that. You like that stuff.
Yeah, no, I like that
You don't
stuff.
drive me as the guy that somebody else is going to look and say, here's where you need to be. You're going to, I'm going to decide where I need to be.
Yeah, so I literally walked into buildings, called them, and drove and wrote down numbers and called them and stuff like that. I was kind of my own broker. From Frisco to Galleria. I was going to open the Legacy West. But what happened there was, I was negotiating with them, and then they basically said, you know what, we have someone else coming in, so we're not interested. And that time was WeWork. WeWork just got into the market. They're the biggest co-working company. They just got in the market. They got into that location in Legacy West. So, so I didn't get that one.
Well, I'll say this much. I think you're doing just fine where you are.
Yeah,
when did you open the doors? What was day one when people could come in, when you had the first member join up?
April 2018.
2018.
Yeah.
And then you took off from there to the point that, again, I was looking at the notes before you got here today. It's my job to embarrass you, all right? So be ready.
No.
But you've won multiple awards since you got on board, right? Could you go over a couple of those, because they're really impressive?
Yeah, let me just brag on myself.
No, please do. I brought it up. Have at it.
Okay. Now, I am proud of them. There is the there is like we're proud to win two years in a row the best co-working space with Addison Magazine. We was voters, voted for us.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of good co-working spaces out there. So I mean, they all do a good job. So we're proud to have one that we all work hard and want to get recognized for that.
Absolutely.
So so we were voted 2 times each year for best co-working. The other award, which I'm personally proud of, is the President's Award from United Franchise Group.
Yes.
For my contributions to the brand, of growth and success of the brand.
Well, that's more of a peer thing,
Yeah,
I mean, really, you help the entire company because you're in there, you're busting it to get it to this level, which is where they want everybody to be able to be.
Well,
so you've earned it.
They're all the franchisees, that have opened. We have about 50 locations, and there's like 60 more waiting to open, just looking for the right location.
Mm-hmm.
And they all have been successful in one way or another, and have invested a lot of money, and they all do a great job with it. So I think we all deserve recognition for it. I've just been involved quite a while, and I'm just passionate about it,
Sure.
and things like that. I want to build a brand along with my business too.
Well, in your own way, even though it's your own business, you're an ambassador for a bigger,
Yeah,
greater
yeah,
good.
exactly. And I don't see it as like my thing versus your thing kind of thing.
No, that's a good way to be.
yeah.
You could. You're also trying to stop. You would be a mentor if other people were looking to get involved. You
Yeah,
wouldn't
if
mind
you want to
talking
get bored
them
of
about it.
listening.
I mean, people are going to want to know because
Yeah.
there's going to be other Nadims out there that are doing their research too. So
Right.
you would certainly be good for that. All right, let me flip it over here a second
Okay.
because we could go this way for a bit, but I think we won't.
Okay.
But as all businesses, the entire world experience, the last year and a half has been a little dicey in a
Yeah.
lot of ways.
Yeah.
So from your standpoint, you've got this beautiful facility with a lot of other small businesses.
Mm-hmm.
COVID hits. How did that impact you?
I am kind of wired weird like that. It doesn't impact me. Like nothing. I don't know. I mean, even my wife tells me, like when we were opening 2018 of March, my kid was going to be born 4 days later. And I was like, okay, well, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I can't change that. I mean, I'm not going to freak out about it.
Cut the cord, cut the ribbon, keep going.
Yeah, like keep going. What's next? I mean, another baby or what? So yeah, I just, it is what it is. Like, it's like I tell people like, why are you worried about gas prices? Like, you can't change it.
Right.
COVID is there. It's unfortunate, of course, and a lot of people have gone through it and with unfortunate situations.
Well, I guess I just mean from a business standpoint, like pre-COVID, were you full?
Yeah. So
And then COVID hits, what happened? Did you stay full?
Yeah. So 2018 we opened. 2019 we doubled the size.
Good for you.
Because we were about 80%. And then 2019, so the 2019 we doubled the size. 2020 of February we were 2% occupied.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously COVID hit. Luckily we have a good relationship with our customers. We were able to work with them. One thing with our co-working spaces are you're working directly with the owner. So we knew what kind of struggles you're going through, and
Right.
we worked with them, try to help their business.
You didn't like other places. You didn't have to call corporate to say, "What do I do?"
Right, exactly.
You are corporate.
Yeah, I can't blame anyone but myself.
Yeah, you're the guy.
I have to look them in the eye and tell them exactly what it is. So yeah, I am the guy who they have to come to. So I can't say, well, that's corporate. They'll get back to you in a month or two.
Mm-hmm.
So, I worked with them and understood their things. And we went from 92% to 70%, which is still relatively...
That's still pretty good comparatively.
Yeah, comparatively.
Yeah.
There was a lot of co-working that shut down that were at 20%. The average, I think, was about 25% or so. So yeah, I was lucky to be at 70%.
Well, I think the one word, because I've interviewed a lot of people in that very seat, as a matter of fact, and one word that always pops up during the interviews regarding the whole Venture X thing is the word community.
Yeah.
It's a community. It's not a bunch of businesses in offices. It's a community of people working together.
Exactly.
Fair enough.
Yes.
And so you were doing your part to take care of the community.
Yeah.
You dropped down a little bit, 70-something%, but as we sit here today, how's it going?
Well, April 2021, we were almost reaching 100%, like 97%.
There you go.
And we have been above 90, 92, 93% since then.
Did you run into a situation because worldwide there was a lot of people that were furloughed from their jobs or whatever?
Yeah.
And when it came time to go back to work, said, "No, I want to start my own thing." Did you run into that? Did that help you from a standpoint of people looking for a place to open their business?
Yeah, I mean, the economy with this COVID, we had a stable economy and there wasn't a lot of changes. COVID obviously flipped all that over, and there's just a lot of fluctuations. So during these fluctuations, you need a lot of flexibility, and that's what we do. We could give you a month to month. Some people, if they want to use our space 3 times a week, you could get a part-time shared desk like a Starbucks, but with not so many noise and stuff like that. So anything, you come and tell me what is it that you need. You want to just do an event, you want to do a video studio, podcast. We'll hear you out first, and we're not trying to sell you anything. We want to sell you what you're needing.
The best salesperson has 2 ears and 1 mouth.
Yeah, exactly.
So you listen before you talk.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So we customize literally. I mean, I had a company come and they're like, hey, we're looking for this kind of feel. Look, they drew it in paper, and we made it happen. We built exactly that for them.
That's your engineering head popping back.
Maybe, yeah, maybe. Yeah, I like creating stuff and stuff. Yeah. So you be flexible and just cater to our customers. I mean, they make us, right? So.
But again, as part of the community and the word of mouth, I have to think when people walk into one of your spaces, one of your members' spaces, and they come in as one of their customers, they immediately start looking around, and they've got to be thinking, I want to put my business here. Does that happen?
Yeah. I mean, I do, and it's something to be proud about. Like when they come in, they just feel different. It's a different vibe, aura, and just like you're not walking into a dentist's office, or you walk into other office buildings, you just feel like I'm going to work kind of thing, right? So it doesn't feel like that. It feels homey, like a boutique hotel. Right. There's a lot of little factors that go into making that happen.
Well, and even these days, sticking on the economy here for a second, there's still a lot of people that are working out of the house that have been doing it for a while that are maybe getting tired of it. Oh, yeah. They don't want to go back to the big office like old school. Right. And they're a little tired of working in the second bedroom anymore. Right. Looks like another opportunity for you.
Oh, yeah. No, me personally, I work at home only during the shutdown, so it was only for like a month and a half, and I drove myself crazy. I mean, I literally, because of kids and stuff, only worked at night times and then slept during the day kind of thing. It was like so it was just no, I needed to get out of the house. Even in college, or I've always worked in the library or out of the house, so that's just the way I am. And there's a lot of people, maybe not to that extent, right? But that they're, especially after a year of it, I don't know how they do it or continue to do it.
But again, that word flexibility, when you're there for them whenever they do need to work. I'm going to switch gears for a second because I almost forgot something. I was talking about your impressive awards you've won. Yeah. But I'm always intrigued with people who can do writing and actually get it published. You actually wrote something, had it published at India Forbes, is that right?
Yes, yeah.
Tell me about that. Did they come to you, or did you just say, hey, I want to put that, or
no? They came to me to talk about Venture X and my backstory and stuff. And honestly, like, I get tired of talking about my story of like, I came from India, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, yes, I get it. But it's like, I've said it like 10 times. So I'm just like, okay, maybe we do something different. And, I'll write something. And they said, well, we can't guarantee that it will get published, but yeah, you could write something. And they gave me a list of questions. I picked one. I wrote on it, and the question was, for that time, it seemed like relevant. Was knowing, knowing when to give up, kind of thing. With it being COVID, how do you know when to give up or keep going, kind of thing. So I wrote on that. And basically that article, what it says is so. We teach our kids like the tortoise and the hare story, right? Where we're like, be the tortoise, and I think that's incorrect, in a way. I mean, you want to be the rabbit, right? You want to be the hare because you want to do what you're good at. Why would I want to? I mean, the smarter one here is the rabbit because he knows he's good at. I mean, yeah, he lost that one, but the 50 others, he's gonna win. Yes, there is the point of the story is to not give up, but that's also incorrect because if you're going the wrong path, you should give up. Like, why are you wasting your time?
Correct.
If you're slow and you're trying to win a race, yeah, he got lucky, but is that strategically the right move? No. I mean, if that's not your cup of tea, then don't do it. Let someone else do that.
Play to your strengths.
Play to your strengths, exactly. Yeah. So I don't get that story of, I mean, don't give up, but I'm not going to go start playing basketball right now and like not give up for 10 years. It's wasting my life.
Yeah. Because 10 years from now, you're still not going to be 7 feet tall.
I'm still not going to be Michael Jordan. Yeah. So.
But you are a successable businessman. You're playing to your strengths.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I have a lot of weaknesses, that I'm not going to play to. So that's that was the whole article about. So we got picked, So yeah, no, I personally, I feel that way about business, about just focusing on one thing and doing that right.
And surround yourself with others to fill in the blanks as needed.
Oh yeah. If you have weak points, definitely.
So many people get into business, not necessarily in your case, but in people I've talked to, they get into business because they have a dream and they're really good at this and say, okay, I'm going to turn it into a business. Yeah. And then they get there and they realize they don't know all this other stuff. So now they're over here trying to figure out how to negotiate a lease and do a contract and everything. And there's nobody building the widgets that they got into business for in the first place. And then there's no more business. Yeah. Focus on what you know, bring in other people to fill in the blanks.
Exactly. Yeah. And you should start your own business, it seems like.
Maybe I should. Well, you know, to that end, if it was easy, everybody would do it, but it's not easy. I mean,
you have to be a little crazy like me.
You make it appear easy, but it's not. And I know you like quotes because I read your stuff. And one of my favorites is, just because I can carry it well doesn't mean it's not heavy. It might be heavy, but it's what I do. It's my strength. I can carry it. You're the same way. Yeah. You're very engaging and jovial and whatnot, but I know you work your tail off to get where you are. It hasn't just been easy. You work at it and can continue to do so.
Yeah, I mean, I'm passionate about it. I want to create, and I'm continuing to do that. Even now, I'm opening 2 other locations, and just like what's next for me, I guess. It's like, and I also in the back of my mind, I'm like, well, why am I doing it too? And I guess I just want to keep creating. You're talking about a lot of people starts business. So you got to know your why. A lot of people do it because they want the Lamborghinis or. And I don't care, like that stuff doesn't make me happy. Like, there was once a panel thing, and then they were asked everyone like, how much, like how you made your business, when do you know how much money you need to make to know you're successful? And everyone had a number. I never even seriously thought about that. Like, I mean, yes, I need money. Everyone needs money. Sure. To survive, to take care of, to have financial freedom. I mean, really, what I need money for is financial freedom, right? And like, I want to be able to do whatever I want every day without having to do it for money. So that's really was my goal.
If you focus on the business, the money will come. But if you focus on the
provide
money,
the value.
The value's got to be there.
You can't be focusing on the money because you think you're being selfish versus you think externally what the customer needs, what are their values and needs, solve that, and then you'll get.
At the end of the day, it's all about the customer.
Yeah, exactly. So that's, and I guess that's my background in product management that made me continue to think about customers and launching products in the market that only benefits customers or stuff that they care about.
Well, we all heard the phrase people business, all right? And well, what is people business? Well, just put it simple. It's a reason that it comes in that order, because if you don't focus on the people there's not going to be a business.
Yeah, right.
I tell you what, I'm about ready to wrap it up. Tell me something I don't know about you. Can you talk about the 2 places you're looking at building? Or let me ask you this, but we don't have to mention that. But is there already a third one conjuring around your head after these 2 get going?
I have some other plans I want to do. Yeah.
You got a plan.
Yeah, for sure. I don't plan on retiring, at least. I want to continue doing these things.
Well, you got to. Your mind's too busy. You would be. I can't see you hanging on the golf course every day.
No, or drinking iced tea in a Porsche.
No, who wants to drink iced tea in a Porsche? I want to drink iced tea on my couch. Well, I tell you what, Nadim, it's great. It's just a great story, the before story, the current story, but the future story is just getting started too. Thanks for being here, man.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Hey, folks, as always, thanks to you for being here today to join us here on the Venture Xperience podcast. It's always fun. Thanks for being here. We look forward to seeing you next time.
Venture X is a locally owned and globally connected portfolio of co-working spaces providing businesses with on-demand office space and services to run their company. To book a tour, visit www.venturex.com. When you need a space for your next business, X marks the spot.